New York City is known for its iconic skyline, filled with towering skyscrapers and historic landmarks. The city has a rich architectural history that reflects its diverse cultural influences and ever-changing urban landscape. From the early days of Dutch and British settlements to the modern metropolis it is today, New York's architecture has evolved and shaped the city's identity. The first architectural influences in New York can be traced back to the 17th century when the Dutch established a settlement called New Amsterdam on the southern tip of Manhattan Island. The Dutch built simple wooden structures with pitched roofs, gabled facades, and large windows to allow for natural light and ventilation. The most famous example of Dutch architecture in New York is the Wyckoff House, built in 1652 and now the oldest surviving structure in the city. In the 18th century, the British took control of New York and brought with them their own architectural style. The Georgian style, characterized by symmetrical facades, pediments, and decorative moldings, can be seen in many of the city's early buildings such as St. Paul's Chapel and Fraunces Tavern. However, it was during the 19th century that New York's architectural landscape truly began to transform. The Industrial Revolution brought about major changes in the city, and with it came a demand for new and innovative buildings. The rise of steel production and advances in technology allowed for the construction of taller and more intricate structures. The most notable example of this is the Brooklyn Bridge, completed in 1883 and considered an engineering marvel of its time. The late 19th and early 20th centuries saw a surge in architectural styles, as the city's population grew and different cultural groups began to settle in New York. The Beaux Arts style, characterized by grandiose buildings with elaborate ornamentation, became popular in the early 1900s and can be seen in landmarks such as Grand Central Terminal and the New York Public Library. The early 20th century also saw the birth of modern architecture in New York with the construction of the Woolworth Building in 1913, designed by architect Cass Gilbert. This 60-story skyscraper was one of the first to use a steel frame, allowing for its impressive height and Gothic-inspired design. The Art Deco style also emerged during this time, with iconic buildings like the Chrysler Building and the Empire State Building showcasing its sleek and geometric designs. The post-World War II era brought about a new wave of modern architecture in New York. The international style, characterized by simple forms, clean lines, and the use of glass and steel, became popular and can be seen in buildings like the Lever House and the Seagram Building. This era also saw the rise of urban renewal projects, such as the construction of the Lincoln Center for the Performing Arts and the redevelopment of the Upper East Side. In more recent years, New York's architectural landscape has continued to evolve and adapt to the needs of its ever-growing population. The city has seen the construction of iconic structures such as the Guggenheim Museum, designed by Frank Lloyd Wright, and the futuristic One World Trade Center, which now stands as the tallest building in the Western Hemisphere. New York's architecture is a reflection of its vibrant history and diverse cultural influences, from the Dutch and British settlers to the modern skyscrapers that dominate the skyline. The city's buildings tell a story of innovation, progress, and resilience. As New York continues to evolve and grow, its architecture will undoubtedly continue to shape its identity and leave a lasting impression on visitors and residents alike.